I'm Taylor with HXC Magazine, and we're here with Northlane.
How you doing?
Could you just say your name and what you do for the band?
I'm Alex and I play bass.
So we had some questions about Node. Where did the title come from?
Node was like a working title for one of the song, where John will kind of write some of the music and then put a name to it that reflects the song for him. But the definition of Node kind of is the reason why we picked it, because it's when two paths intersect. So that was kind of us, with our singer leaving and the new Marcus coming in,
Right.
kind of old, new, this is that, and if that makes sense.
How did that transition affect your sound coming into this record?
It really didn't. Well, it did, of course, because we have a new voice behind it, but the songwriting, we started writing just after July last year, so we had song ideas and the music was already there. Obviously, having Marcus, and Marcus is more of a trained singer, it opened our doors to have a little bit more clean singing than what we did on Singularity. So I guess in that aspect it changed, but the musical part of it was very much what it is.
Right, you guys are very atmospheric when it comes to, the metalcore genre. Why do you like to take that approach? Just because?
It just happens. Yeah. There's no reason to it. It's John, our guitarist, who does a lot of the writing work, he and him and all of us kind of listen to a lot of different music. And listening to metal bands whilst trying to write metal music, it doesn't really work for us. So it's things that you take inspiration from Coldplay or Incubus or Linkin Park kind of translates in its own way to what we do. So
what would you say was a primary inspiration for you behind this record? I noticed there were a lot of Egyptian references in the titles.
It's an accident.
Just an accident?
Yeah, it's just... I think maybe two of the song names changed, but we had a lot of working titles and they just stayed the same because we became attached to the songs that way. But Obelisk, Ra, it was just coincidence. I guess we're all kind of into that, but we don't set out to go, let's name a song after an Egyptian god. It just happened.
So was there any definitive thread behind this record, or did you just go into every song differently?
I guess the record as a whole, we've always been about spreading, our positive message. And we found with Singularity, a lot of the people would, a lot of kids would understand what the message was, but then some wouldn't. And so the whole goal to Node was to kind of make that make that message easier to spread. So just, you don't really have to have a degree in literature to understand what some of the songs are trying to say, if that makes sense.
Well, now I'm hurt because I have a degree in literature.
Well, that's always awesome. But it's, some kids that will read something and not understand where you're trying to go with it. So that's why we try to make it a lot easier to understand and, for a wider audience to relate to it, opposed to just, I don't know.
Right. What about the cover art? It's got a triangle on it, or a kind of pyramid thing, and I know that's something that got brought up again in the Impulse video. Was there a meaning behind that?
Well, in the art, if you actually look closer to it, there's, in between all the lines, there's little nodes, which are joining every line. So that was the reason behind Node and the kind of artwork. But when we released Rot, the Rot artwork had the triangle incorporated. So we wanted to take that symbol and just kind of make it a little bit more mature for, this is Northlane type thing. And the artist that we got to do it, we gave him the idea and he came back with that, and we were stoked. So it's not really too much behind it, but...
And what artist was that?
His name's Patrick Galvin. He's an Australian guy. He actually he's an in-house guy with our label. So he does a lot of unified promotional stuff. So you see their photos on Instagram or stuff like that, or tour posters. He doesn't really do CD artwork, but we were stuck in a hard place. We didn't know who to go with, and we just tried, and he killed it. So it's good.
Well, it's kind of irrelevant now because there's really nothing to do with Egyptians on your record. But if you could be any Egyptian deity or god, what would it be?
Probably still be Ra.
Yeah, why?
It's a badass.
You like to shine like the sun? That's kind of...
I don't know. No, he's cool. goes through his whole little, journey at night to be reborn in the day. I don't know, it's cool.
And if you could go back to any ancient civilization for a day, what would it be?
Ooh, definitely would be the Egyptian era.
Yeah.
There's a lot of unsolved questions or mysteries about the pyramids and stuff. So
Do you think the aliens did it?
I don't have a view on it. I just think it's amazing. It's interesting, whether Egyptians built it, whether someone else built it, we'll never know. So I'm not going to sit there and try fester on the thoughts, but it would be interesting to be there for a day just to see what's going on.
And what's your favorite place in America that you've ever toured in?
Oh, Columbus was great.
Really? Why?
Yeah. We went to a place called Moat, which is a sandwich bar, and there's two of us that are vegetarian, and our driver's vegan. So
I'm a vegetarian too.
So it's easy to go to places like that, but it reminded me of a place back home called Newtown, so it was a little bit of a familiar aspect to it. And besides that, I don't know, New York. New York's tight.
Are you just saying that because you're here, or you actually think so?
We've always had a good time in New York. There's never been a time where yeah, New York. No, it's mad. You got the Empire State Building. It's cool.
And where could you see Northlane in a few years? Or where would you want to see Northlane in a few years?
In what aspect?
What tours would you want to be on?
If we could get on a Deftones tour over there, that would be mad. I don't know, just we love playing heavy music, but we find that touring with bands, we've toured with a band in Australia called Carnival, which is more of a prog rock, and although it's not really our scene, it's great to play those shows because it really you gain these fans that are still into it. And so I don't know, hopefully tours that are a little bit bigger and broaden the horizons, so something like Deftones or Linkin Park, or who knows, that would be sick. But.
Cool. And if you could describe Northlane's show in one word, what would it be?
Hectic. That's an Aussie word, so.
Well, there you have it. Thanks for tuning in with us.